We tend to think of a high IQ as some kind of superpower, right? Getting the right answers faster than everyone else. But the real story is, well, it's way more complicated than that. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the science of the highly intelligent brain, and we're going to explore why its unique wiring is both an incredible gift and sometimes a heavy burden.
So let's just jump right in with the big question, the one that got you to click. Is a high IQ a gift or is it a burden? It's a question people have been kicking around for decades, but the answer, well, it might just surprise you. See, the thing is, the answer has nothing to do with what you know or how well you do on a test. Nope. It's all about the physical architecture of the brain itself. We're talking about a high-performance machine with its own unique operating instructions, and as it turns out, its own unique set of bugs. All right, so let's really get into it. To even begin to understand high intelligence, you have to get your head around the fact that we're talking about a fundamentally different kind of brain. Some researchers even call it the hyperbrain. For the longest time, scientists were on this hunt for a single intelligence spot in the brain. But it turns out that was the completely wrong way to look at it. Thanks to what we now call network neuroscience theory, we know intelligence isn't a place in the brain, it's a property of the brain. It's all about the incredible flexibility of the entire network to build and tear down connections in real time to crack a problem. Okay, so what does this high-performance wiring actually look like on the inside? Let's start with the good stuff. Let's explore the gift side of the equation, the raw biological advantages that come with a high IQ brain. Okay, now this is where things get really fascinating. There's this idea called neural efficiency. Now, you'd probably assume that a smarter brain has to work harder, right? That it would light up like a Christmas tree on a brain scan. But it's the exact opposite. Brighter individuals often solve incredibly complex problems using significantly less brain energy. Here's a good way to think about it. A typical brain can be like an old computer that has to fire up every single program on the hard drive just to open a simple document. A high IQ brain, it's more like a precision surgical instrument. It doesn't work harder, it works smarter. It allocates resources with insane efficiency, activating only the neural circuits it needs for the job at hand. And get this, we're talking actual physical hardware upgrades here. Research from the Human Brain Project has shown that people with higher IQs literally have neurons that are bigger and faster. Their dendrites, the little branches that pull in information, are way more complex, which means they can process more data at once. Even the signals themselves, the action potentials, are traveling at a higher speed. It's a brain that is built for peak performance, right from the ground up. And this specialization goes deep. Right down to these tiny little spots in the brain. There's an area called the locus coeruleus, the blue spot, and it's more active in people with higher IQs. This little thing is basically the engine for curiosity. It's what drives us to seek out new things, to explore, and to tackle complex challenges. So when you've got all this high-speed hardware humming along, does it ever feel like your brain just never shuts off? You know that feeling? Like there's a constant monologue running in the background all the time? Well, that's not just in your head. It's a direct result of the biology we're talking about. That constant thinking about your thinking is called metacognition. And that running commentary, that self-talk, that's actually a tool the brain uses to manage all that incoming information and speed up reasoning. And yeah, it's true, a lot of highly intelligent people are night owls, a trait that's been linked to more creative, out-of-the-box thinking in the quiet hours of the night. So a super efficient, super fast, super curious brain sounds pretty amazing, right? Like all gift, no downside. But what is the hidden cost of running that kind of system 24/7? Because that high-performance brain, yeah, it comes with a pretty steep price tag. And this is where we get to the burden side of things, the reality that a hyper-reactive brain often leads to a hyper-reactive body. And this is really the heart of the matter. The very same sensitivity that allows the brain to pick up on subtle patterns and complex ideas also makes it hypersensitive to, well, everything else. A system that's tuned for high-fidelity input is also a system that's prone to overreaction. This actually has a name. It's called overexcitabilities, or OEs for short. And this isn't some psychological theory. It's a biological fact. We're talking about a nervous system that just experiences the world with the volume cranked all the way up, leading to these incredibly intense reactions to perfectly normal everyday things, like sounds, textures, and even emotions. Let me put it this way. For this kind of nervous system, a minor annoyance, like a scratchy tag on the back of your shirt, isn't just uncomfortable. the brain can actually interpret that constant nagging sensory input as a low-level threat, triggering a subtle but chronic fight, flight, or freeze stress response. And the fallout from living in this constant state of high alert, it's huge. I mean, really huge. When your brain is treating these tiny stressors like they're major traumas, the cumulative effect is just enormous. Research has shown that people with a high IQ have, get this, a staggering 182% increased risk of developing a mood disorder like anxiety or depression compared to average. And then, on top of all that, you've got this challenge called asynchrony. This is what happens when someone's intellectual development just rockets ahead of their emotional or social development. So you might have the brain of a 20-year-old, but you're stuck in the body of a 12-year-old. It can lead to these profound feelings of isolation, a feeling like an alien among your own friends. So, okay, we've got this incredible brain that's both a powerhouse and, at the same time, super vulnerable. How do we square that circle? Well, the answer might be in just completely reframing how we look at the whole thing. And here's the most important thing to take away from all of this. High intelligence isn't just a number on a scale from low to high. It's a distinct form of neurodiversity. In the same way we think about autism or ADHD, it's a different kind of brain operating system. And it comes with its own incredible strengths, but also its own very specific needs for support and understanding. So if any of what we've talked about sounds familiar, if you've ever felt like you're just too intense or that you overthink everything, I want you to really hear this. Your brain isn't broken. It's not flawed. It is a highly specialized instrument, one that's tuned to perceive and process the world with extraordinary depth and intensity. And that brings us full circle, right back to the beginning. Now that we've looked at the unbelievable efficiency and the profound sensitivity of this unique wiring, I'll ask you again, is high IQ more of a gift or is it more of a burden? Let us know what you think.